Hi, welcome to plasma cutting tutorial number 6. In this video we are showing you how to scale down objects that are inside of your plan here. Scale them down to the same size or very close to the same size. In the previous video we showed how to bring two different DXF drawings into one window so that we can make them a part of the same project. Now we're going to scale this DXF drawing that we have brought in down so it's about the same size as this one. So when I take a look at what we have here, the first step is to measure. So I'm going to grab the measurement tool and choose point to point. And right now it's sort of free to measure from wherever it wants. I don't have any of my snaps on. I could put a grid snap on, which snaps to these little grid points, but what I want is to actually measure points of the actual project. So I think what I'm going to do is choose I'll choose no snaps. You know, this doesn't have to be super perfect. I'm going to choose to see how tall the star is and measure from there all the way down to the tip of this star. And it's going to tell me that we are at about I'll zoom in a bit here. We're 992.4707 inches. Okay? So let's call that 992.5. I'm going to write that down so that I don't forget that number. 992.5. Alright, next I'm going to measure the other object, which is the heart. And I'm going to measure from the very top of the heart here. Let's get in nice and close, right about there. And I'm going to measure over this way here. Get a straight line going here. So I can force a straight line by clicking on restrict vertical, and now you can see it forces me to come down straight from that point, and let's say right around there. Now it's giving me a distance of 1779.57. I'll write that down. Okay, let's just round it up. 1779.6. So I've got my two numbers. Now if I want to scale down, then I'm going to put the small number on top and the big number on the bottom. Let's get a calculator out. So again, small number on top if I'm scaling down. So 992.5 divided by the big number 1779.6. My scale factor is 0.5577. I'll write that down, 0.5577. Now that tells me that I'm going to multiply the size of the heart by 0.5577, which is going to shrink it down to almost half. Alright, so here we go. Let's do some scaling like we've done in previous videos. I'm going to hit escape a bunch of times to clear the command that I was in. And I'm going to select, modify, scale. It's asking me right here to specify a reference point, and I will choose the tip. And I'm going to snap to it this time. There's the tip. Delete the original, and isotropic scaling is checked. These two are all checked. And let's put in our scale factor of 0.5577. That's going to make this shrink down in both the X and the Y by, 55% pretty much. Here we go. There we go. That has shrunk down, and you can see now that it's the same size. I'm going to move it by selecting and grabbing the object. Oh, I've got my snaps stuck on. Here we go. And I've got vertical force. There we go. Now we're free to go. Now this thing is resting right on that 0 line. Okay? There's the origin, 0, 0 on a graph. This is vertically touching there on the 0 point. So I'm going to force a grid here. And you can see now I can position my next heart anywhere in line with the bottom edge here. That's helpful for alignment purposes. I'm going to drop it right here. There it is. Hit escape, and I have a heart that is spaced out from the star. And I actually, in my pattern, I want to have a heart, star, heart pattern. So now I'm going to copy this. So let's select it. Let's modify. and let's copy. And it's asking for a reference point, so I'm going to copy from the edge of it right here. And now it's asking for a target point. Let's move it there. Do I want to delete the original? No, actually this time I want to keep the original, and I don't want multiple, I just want one. So that's good. And there we have it. If I wasn't happy with the positioning, I could go in here and I could move this over slightly. Remember, if you want to move it over freely, then you have to turn these snaps off, okay? And if you want to move it over, so I can move it freely right now, but if I wanted to move it based on a grid, then I'd have to turn a grid or some other particular snap on. Maybe I want to force it to only move horizontal and snap. So now when I click this, I can only move horizontal. I can't even lift this if I wanted to. So those are helpful ways of accurately moving something over. All right, so that is how to scale down. As a recap, you have to measure both objects. You have to do a little bit of math when you're scaling it. And then you do a move command to stamp out more. Before I finish up, I'm going to tell you that the next video will talk about exploding and blocking. And that means that, this star here, we've got two sets of lines. And that is needs to be remedied. So we're going to talk about taking pieces apart and also joining pieces together in the next video. Thanks a lot.